All right, welcome to another episode of the CapmLew podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's me, Lou, the captain, and
Luke, also the co-captain.
it's true. It's true. I guess I'm the captain with the maps, and you're the one who helps to keep the steering wheel straight.
Yeah, or like swaps the deck sometimes, and
I don't know. We don't know.
we don't clean the floors very
There's
much.
no use in it. Let's just leave it on until we can finally get some sound effects and say, it's fine. I thought today of recording a welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I was listening through multiple episodes of a podcast I thought was really good.
Was it ours?
It was not.
Okay. Harsh but fair.
Harsh but fair. And I shared it with someone, and they said that was a really boring podcast.
Oh, hilarious!
Oh, bro. Savage.
Subjectivity.
It was pretty savage.
That's hilarious.
I was really hoping that they were going to love that podcast because they're a family member, but they did not. They did not dig it. They were like, "It's really boring."
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I might. It's Dr. Michael Heiser's Naked Bible podcast.
Oh, I listened to some of that today.
The ones I did send them to you.
Yeah, and they're only like 10 minutes long. It was perfect.
They are. But I realized that I might be a Bible nerd because I love learning about the literary context of both Old and New Testament.
Yes.
I love learning about it because I watched the theology guys when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
They were all spindled up around all this stuff, and I didn't like the way they spindled on it because it seemed simpler than that to me.
Sure.
I figured there were probably better explanations found in, even as a kid, I was like, I bet there are some explanations there. So
yeah,
I'm interested in building a library and enjoying some of that. It relaxes me.
Dude, I get it. I feel the same way. I get it.
I borrowed a book today.
Oh.
I borrowed it from Brad at the bike shop. It's like a 3-inch thick tome on twin cam Harleys.
Oh.
I am in the viscera of a road king.
Yeah.
Like
you got the thing gutted.
I was shocked. Working on bikes when I work at a shop where you want to make time shrink.
Yeah.
You're always thinking like, well, can I do this if I leave the wheel on?
Yeah.
And at my house, when I'm working on a bike, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take that wheel off.
Yep.
Because that takes me 25 seconds.
Yep.
And
almost literally.
That's going to be, I've got I can take a rear wheel off in like probably 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one axle.
There is one axle per wheel on a motorcycle.
Tap it out.
If there were more than one axle, it wouldn't turn. Think about that.
Unless you had, anyway, it's fine.
Well, unless it were an elliptical.
Ooh,
yeah,
that would be beautiful. Anyway,
rotation.
Yeah,
but anyways, I'm way into this thing.
Yeah,
I took off the outer primary.
Mm-hmm.
I took off my clutch basket and my compensator. I took off my inner primary. I took off my regulator. I pulled out the stator and the rotor. I got that done. I replaced the front engine mount.
Mm-hmm.
The rear engine mount on a Road King is the swing arm axle. Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
This is attached with brackets?
Swing arm axle goes through the frame,
through the motor,
into the swing arm, into the transmission of the motor, all the way across into the swing arm, through the frame, and then like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually pretty cool.
It is cool.
I did not know that.
And if you take your rear wheel off, I don't have the rear fender off.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I have to cut the rear fender.
Well, you can, yeah.
Well, now that I've taken the wheel off and I've taken the swing arm off, I can cut the fender. The belt was the wrong belt.
No,
it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I've got plenty to do and not very much time to use to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it in like 1 and 0.1 and hour parts as people are coming out and yelling things like, it's time for dinner, which who can complain about that?
Yeah, but
No,
I
no, no.
understand. I'm hearing everything you're
No,
saying
yeah,
and
no,
everything
no.
you're not saying.
On
I
the
get
man
it.
level, it's very difficult to be wanting to work on this
Yes.
bike
Yeah.
and wanting to have it done by Saturday
Last.
past
Yeah. Right.
but that wasn't going to happen, man.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's slightly technical, but I'm very intrigued. I can't remember. The clutch basket, is it bolted to the case, the primary case itself? Because the clutch basket doesn't move, so how does it stay on that spindle?
So what you got with your clutch basket
Okay.
is your clutch basket is attached directly to your main shaft.
Oh, is it
That's
like
the
stuck on there?
input
Yeah.
shaft
Right.
to the transmission. It's
Right.
called
Right.
the main shaft. It's
Right.
called your input shaft.
Right.
So what you got with the clutch basket is when it's at rest,
Mm-hmm.
it's gripped to the main shaft.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
When it is compressed,
Yes.
okay, when you
Yeah.
pull the
Yeah.
lever and you compress, it can spin freely.
That's such a trip. Yeah.
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 So the clutch basket unit is actually a few parts.
Yes, there are.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
There's inner and outer clutch basket, and then
Yes.
there's all your
Friction plates.
friction plates and steels.
Yes.
So that situation
Mm-hmm.
is inert. You know, when
Yeah.
it's coming on and off the bike with the clutch is not engaged.
Right.
And you remember working on your Sportster that the clutch
Yeah.
came in on the basket side,
Yes.
but on a bagger, the clutch comes in on the other side, and it
Oh.
actuates
Okay.
on a lever pack over
Oh.
there. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I call it lever pack because it's two discs with ramps and balls.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
understand.
when you pull the clutch,
Do they spread
it
apart?
spreads apart and
Yeah.
it pushes a rod
Oh, that
all the
engages.
way across. The rod pushes
Yes.
all the way across,
Mm-hmm.
and the rod pushes the actuation that loosens the
Yes.
clutch.
Dude,
Yeah.
fascinating. So you have to do you have to take the entire thing off? You have to like manufacture a clutch grab for it to come off. You know what I mean? You have to engage
Um,
the clutch.
on a Sportster, you do that.
Mm-hmm.
On this, to change the clutch pack,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to compress the clutch spring.
Yes.
Yes.
To remove it entirely.
Oh, I can't remember now because I
Does it
haven't
come
done a
off?
clutch on a
But you just took
bagger.
yours off.
No, I took off my whole entire clutch, inner and outer altogether. They just come off in one big piece.
Do they just pull off?
Yeah, to pull the clutch
Okay.
to pull the clutch out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I think on these, I'm remembering from my Softail, there's just a series of screws that you take out and the clutch plate comes off.
Okay. That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering about.
On a
Yeah.
Sportster, you compress the spring, you take off the
Yeah.
center bolt,
Yeah.
and then the spring comes out
Comes
that
out.
way.
Right. Yeah. Understood.
I've done clutches on, I did the clutch on one of my, yeah, they're different and different eras as well.
Sure.
The, yeah, and so when you put the clutch plate back on,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in the clutch on this bike, and I'm kind of bike to bike still. But anyway, so I pulled out the clutch and the primary. They've got the chain around them, the
Yeah.
primary chain.
Sure.
Set those aside. Then took off the inner primary, set that aside. Rotor, stator, all that comes off.
Yeah.
I'm replacing the stator. I'm replacing the rotor.
Yeah.
And last night, as I was looking at the rotor, the new one, it looked a little different. I did some caliper measurements, and I picked up the box, and the box said 2006.
No.
Right. Well, so I took the stator back off, which takes exactly 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, it's 4 tiny screws,
Yeah.
and you pull it through.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to take it off because I have so much banging and clanging to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to have it packed up. So I packed that all up and I took it to the bike shop today and I was like, do I have the wrong year?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, no, I don't have the wrong year. It's an upgrade to a
Oh.
3-phase from a 2-phase.
Yes. Right.
Which is fascinating. I'm
Yeah.
upgrading the whole system there.
Right.
And still have an unanswered question is the stock circuit breaker, I think, is a 30, and I think it needs to be a 50.
Yeah.
So I'm probably still going to do that, but it's not in the instructions anywhere. It's fine.
Do the parts that you have currently
They
fit
do.
on your bike?
They do.
Okay, so you can put them on and be
Yeah,
cool. Okay,
and
good.
Brad, and we had a conversation about it. I went to the bike shop this morning, which is always pleasant,
Yeah, that's amazing.
and I'm so happy that I am welcome to walk into the bike shop and I get big hugs,
Yep,
and that I'm not a tax on them.
yep.
And I actually helped to unload a bike out of a pickup truck that was coming in. Actually
Nice,
did. I got to put in a
nice.
little work.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, I
Hmm.
went with Brad and helped him load and unload a few objects from one place to another
Yeah,
into the new location, which is an epic location.
that's so sick, dude. I'm really
Yeah,
happy
it's
for
in
Brad.
Cleves, right near Whitewater Township.
Yes, sir, it is.
And it's only 18 minutes from this place right here.
Do you go down 75 and then
You go to
take a right?
74, you go to 74 to 128.
Okay,
When you get to the bottom of the exit, you take a left for about 2 minutes,
and there you are.
and it's on the right side.
That's so sick,
It's
dude.
crazy. It's
That's
so good.
awesome. That's
It's
awesome.
at the intersection of 128 and Morgan Road,
That's
and
awesome.
it's enormous.
Yeah.
It's enormous, and
Sometimes more is more. You know what I mean?
uh huh.
I love it.
So, anyways,
I love it.
I have the I'm going to be cutting the fender. I'm going to be installing some of the flooring. I'm going to finish the floor in my twin cam alley back there.
In the alley.
I'm going to do the floor in the alley.
Yeah.
That's going to be nice. I don't know if you saw, but Brad has kindly gifted me a solvent tank.
What?
Yeah, parts washer.
Yeah.
You know, the one with
Those things are sick.
it's got, you flip the switch and you've got the hose with the brush, and it's just flowing, and you can clean off all the stuff.
Dude.
Yeah, a parts washer.
That's so cool. I want to bring stuff over.
And I actually needed it.
Yeah.
And I needed it some days before.
Can you reuse the wash?
Oh, you can leave the same stuff in there. It settles down to the bottom.
And you just pull off the top.
Yeah, it's pulling a little higher than the bottom.
Yeah.
But he even gave me the solvent.
What?
I've got 2.5 5-gallon buckets full of solvent.
Bro.
So
dude, Brad is the
shape.
man.
I'm
That's
just gonna
sick.
I'm just gonna clean it out. It's got probably a less than a quarter inch, maybe an eighth of an inch of garbage on the bottom of it. And I'm just gonna clean that out, and I'm gonna stick it in the back in the corner.
Yes.
I'm gonna get rid of the black shelf thing.
Yes.
I've been emptying it out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting rid of that.
Okay.
I'm gonna slit the tarp, roll that tarp up, so we've got a nice little area. And in my dream world, I'm gonna get I'd love to redo the entire floor.
We should do
with
it.
oak pallets. I would just take a weekend.
Yeah.
If we do that, I would like to extend the floor L-shaped out toward the turtle pen.
Oh, yeah.
And have the ability for people to be sitting there who can still see.
Yeah.
You know, into the shop when we're all sitting there for sinners only.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like a little deck on the deck.
And then
that's so sick.
Then we'll put down like a 4x4 of 1/8 inch steel.
Yeah.
Put a fire pit up on top of it. Yeah.
That would be so sick.
No, I've got ideas.
Yeah,
I do.
that'd be awesome.
I just don't. All my friends are too productive to help me. They've got too much going on. So it's true.
Dude,
I really
it's a
could
busy
use.
season.
I could use an army of people with a lot of time.
Yes.
I have an army of people who pray for me and love me, but do not have a lot of time. They are busy.
Yeah.
And that's all right.
It is.
I've got to be patient, though. I do. It takes patience.
Dude.
So anyways, I'm very happy with, I rehung my lights. I've got much better lighting. I rehung 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then I rehung the one over the workbench.
Oh, nice, dude.
Because I figured out if I put a screw in the rafter.
Yeah.
And then I can just zip tie straight around it.
And then you're there.
And I'm there. So I'm going to redo all the lights that way.
Dude.
And have a lot more light.
Yeah, I love
having them up between the rafters has been, mood lighting.
Yeah, it's more like
lighting.
mood lighting. I need work lighting. Absolutely,
work lighting
dude.
now.
I believe in a nice workspace. Like, turn on the lights. It's like the sun comes on in there. You know what I mean?
Do.
Multiple angles on each part. It's awesome.
My eyesight has not been something to write home about. It's really
it's
a
happening.
lot of screens since COVID. A lot of screens.
Yeah.
I heard this guy talking on a TikTok about a book, little tiny book, and a poster.
Yeah.
And the poster had these things on it, and he would read the little tiny book for a certain number of seconds, and then he would read the poster for a certain number of seconds.
Flip back and forth.
And flip back and forth. He said he did it for like 15 minutes a day straight.
Yeah.
For like 3 months. It got prescribed to him when he was a child.
Okay.
And it fixed it.
Really?
It fixed his eyes.
What?
And I thought,
Are the muscles in your eyes just getting tired?
That
You
is
know what I mean?
your one of the many, many things. Oh, cue all the angry eye doctors now.
Yeah, that's not true.
Ophthalmologists
Yeah,
are going to be hitting us up, and they're going to be like, "I'm an ophthalmologist,
because we're
and
idiots.
you're spreading medical
Misinformation.
misinformation."
It's malinformation. All right.
My
Which
gosh.
what's the one that
Right.
you do on purpose?
Malinformation is information that is correct but has a detrimental effect for the good of society,
Yes. This
whatever
is
we in power want to tell
yes.
you that is.
Decide that is. Then it's definitely
Malinformation.
malinformation.
My goodness.
Gosh, dude,
My
it's bad because I don't
goodness.
like it. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sounds good.
That's where yep.
That's pretty much it, dude. Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologists. So,
Anyway,
anyway, yeah, I really would like to do some favors for my eyesight.
yeah.
Um, it'd be cool if anybody knows where I can get one of them kits. I'd like to get one.
Dude, you have one like right now. Just get a small Bible and put a poster on the wall.
It's not just any poster, Luke.
What? Is there specific words you got to
It's
read?
a specific. It's magic words.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. What is this? A séance?
It's rana rana colita sana sana colita de rana.
It has to be in Spanish.
You know
Okay,
what?
cool.
You know what?
I don't.
Sana sana colita de rana means?
I do not. What does it mean?
It's Spanish. It means heel, the tail of a frog.
Is that from a? What is that? I don't understand.
It's a thing that lots of Latinos say
Okay.
when they need. It's tadpole tails.
Tadpole tails.
Yes, cut off and made into a healing poultice.
Oh,
Yes.
I see.
What are
Okay.
they? Full of froggy stem cells.
Yeah, come on, it's fine. It's good for you.
It.
It's great for the skin.
Yeah, I'll take it over some of the other ingredients that are being put in stuff nowadays. Yes.
I did just hear a guy, a scientist dude, who didn't shower for like 5 years.
Yes. What'd he say?
He was like, "Yeah, this is way, way better. The washing your skin kills all the microbiome, all the good bacteria, all the dust mites that eat all the juice on your skin that's actually clogging up your pores."
Yep.
I don't think he smelled. Like his skin biome just like figured it out.
Yep.
It's amazing, dude.
I've been doing that for about 3 years now. I'm not joking.
It's so funny, dude. You just don't use soap?
The other day I got, this is probably a little personal to publish to the whole world.
It's fine.
Yes.
To
Well,
the 35 of you out there.
We've now descended into pure shock.
Shock value.
So
You will not believe what he did.
I got in the shower and I was like, why? I hate the way it feels when I put these soaps all over myself.
Probably really bad soap.
I hate it.
But yeah, I get it.
Like Head and Shoulders shampoo for flaky scalp. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because I'm not big on taking showers. Like I live in a house filled with people who take like
2 showers a day.
Yeah, they do. They take like 2 showers a day, and I'm like, listen, allow me to be clear for the sake of our listeners. I'm not an unclean person.
No.
In fact, dear listener, I would wager that I'm cleaner than you are, because I will not use a toilet without washing.
Yeah.
I will not be soiled.
I will not be soiled.
I will not walk around with soil.
Yeah, no.
It is not done by me. Most Americans walk around with,
Stop,
an
dude.
eighth of a teaspoon of human soil still clinging.
An eighth of a teaspoon.
Wiped thin with cheap
Stop, dude.
anti-environmental paper products.
Oh man.
The whole industry of the thing.
I use
it's
Charmin.
So dark. So dark. So
gosh.
it is now only about $40 to throw a bidet onto whatever toilet you have.
I want to do that, dude.
It's only $40.
But I'm gonna pipe it in so it's hot and cold, so it's like a lukewarm.
That's fine.
Or is it refreshing when it's ice cold?
I don't even notice it anymore. It took about 1 week until I didn't even notice the temperature of the water. Didn't care.
So sick.
My body went from being completely shocked at cold water to being like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah, that's fine. That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah. So anyways, I got in the shower and I was like, I'm not doing it. And then I realized, oh, I'm not getting scalp dander.
Oh, anymore.
I haven't had any scalp dander in a long time.
Yeah, sure.
And beard dander has been extremely manageable.
Yeah.
Like not very much. So I just rinsed off.
Yeah.
And, take a white washcloth and rub your skin until it's you know,
Sparkling.
until the washcloth is tan.
Oh,
It's mostly oil from work.
it's
Some of
fine,
it's
dude.
soil, but like,
Soil.
yeah, because
Some of it's
because
soil.
in roofing, you know, today
Yeah.
I lifted 14 bundles of shingles, 70 pounds of lift.
Dang, bro. Shredded.
Yeah, the shoulder hurts.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
It does hurt.
Don't, bro.
The shoulder
Don't
hurts.
do
It's
it,
not
dude.
getting worse.
Okay, good.
It's not getting worse.
It's a great way to. Yeah.
I know.
Ugh.
I know.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, there's no getting around it, man.
It's probably really good for you.
As long as these hair hands are fit to use. So.
Hands are fit to use.
So yeah, but I've got the bike all pulled apart, and today I went and did another parts run. My new belt will probably come in tomorrow. It's the right one.
Did you bang your head?
Yeah, and I had a hat on during that one. That would have been stitchable.
Dude, you had a hard hat on still.
I had just one of these on.
Yeah.
I'm religious about the hats. The one thing is deodorant.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I don't know if I'm
Go
too
ahead.
ripe for you right now.
I never smell you. I want you to know it's important that you
That's
say
great.
it all the time. I never smell you.
I'm very happy to hear that.
And
Because,
if I did, I wouldn't care.
Well, I tend to do this thing, and those who know me longest know it. I'll get a T-shirt going.
And then that's it, baby.
Well, so I have a work T-shirt. I have several work T-shirts, and they're
Yeah.
in my truck along with I have 2 work hats.
Okay.
And they stay in the truck, so I can jump in the truck and go.
Yeah.
And then I'll settle into, like, right now I'm on a real Hanes white V-neck size large
I'm
kick.
seeing it right now.
Yeah, these are on a hot day.
Oh,
Hanes
glorious.
V-neck is way better than a Hanes crew neck.
Yeah.
But the longer you wear one without washing it,
Mm-hmm.
the more, I don't know, comfortable it is.
Yeah, what is that, dude?
It stretches out.
Yeah, it's nice.
And
I
also,
get
I think the human oils,
it. Yeah.
I think they conduct heat
Off your
through
body.
it. Once your body has created a biometric,
Connection.
a biomatrix
Yeah, right.
through the shirt.
Right.
Yeah. So when it's like 90 degrees outside here and it's steamy in Ohio,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm in a black work shirt during that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's
after work, I
savage.
swap into my, like, I'll have a Harley or skateboarding hat, and I'll swap onto that, and I'll put on my plain whites, and then I go. And so that's just, I grip it and I rip it.
But you just wear one out.
I just put on, I've got a bar of deodorant
Mm-hmm.
from that kind of crunchy company called Tom's.
Oh, I'm with you. That's what I use.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have also got I just finished a Speed Stick, and I have an Old Spice that was given to me for my birthday or Christmas by Britt,
Okay.
because his nickname for me is Old Spice.
That's hilarious.
Because to Britt, it's absolutely hilarious
Yeah.
that I'm old.
Of course, dude. And
Yeah,
spicy.
That I'm old and
Yeah.
have a spicy attitude.
Of course, dude. That's so funny.
I think Britt's a treasure.
Gosh, dude.
But
He's like cackling with laughter.
he does. He's
That's
dad joke central.
So funny, dude.
So I use all of them.
Yeah.
And I can tell that the Old Spice is got a lot of glycerin in it. It goes on
Yeah.
slidey and cold.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah. All that aluminum.
There is no aluminum in it.
That's what they say.
It doesn't have. It says it on the package. It says no aluminum, and it also doesn't stop stink as well anymore because there's no
Because there's
aluminum.
no aluminum in it,
And the
right?
Speed Stick is also now aluminum free.
Yeah.
And what is that? It's not Dr. Bronner's, but that butt powder stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It also doesn't have talc in it anymore.
Is that bad for you?
It's just cornstarch now.
Is it like a carcinogenic?
Yes, it
thing?
had I think it had like trace uranium in it.
Yeah, right.
I do.
With enough, you could make.
I think that's what it
bomb.
was. Radon gas or uranium,
Yeah,
something
something
radioactive was
Right.
in the talcum powder.
You were going to get testicular cancer
Do you
over
know-
the course of 35
I'm not afraid
years.
of testicular cancer.
Bro, you should be, dog.
I'm not,
Why not?
because I'm probably not getting it. And if I were going to get it, what would the use be in being afraid before that?
Listen. I can't go into this with you right now. That's fine. When you have it, I will be kind and gentle with you.
Well, it's not like
But I'll
not
also
being
laugh.
afraid of it gave it to me.
Yeah, but
They took the talc out of
I'm
the
not
powder.
saying be terrified. I'm saying just like I don't want that.
Yeah, well,
It's like dying
I
of
don't
ass
want
cancer.
it either, but I'm not afraid of it. I literally was like, I'm not afraid of testicular cancer. And you're like, bro. I'm
That's
like,
like no. That's like saying I'm not afraid of rock stopping and then tranny checking in the deep end of a pool somewhere.
I also am not afraid of that either because I stay in the shallow end.
Yes, I never go.
I never go. CapmLew never goes in the deep end anymore.
I'm more of a shallow end type of guy,
That's
dude.
a young man's game.
Yeah, no way, dude. That's
Yeah.
so funny,
Oh
bro.
my gosh. You want to talk about skateboarding?
Yeah, we went, dude. We actually went skateboarding.
What, we did?
Yeah, I remember we went to Dry Ridge.
Bro, Piddle Park.
Dude, it's actually called that.
It's called Piddle Park.
Oh, we determined that both Lou and I were both correct about our
the Dry Ridge diagram controversy.
The diagram.
Yes.
It does. Listen, for our viewers.
That's right.
When you come out of the freaking snake run, it does. Here's the thing. It doesn't point towards the pool, but what happens is the clamshell at the end that's like 4 feet high that you come in at Mach 10 to is actually not pointed towards the,
toward the horseshoe half pipe.
Exactly, dude. It's not. It's pointed. It's kind of catty corner to it. So to hit it front side, you actually have to like air a hip or go over the hip and then turn.
Yeah. So, yep, that exactly happened.
So, but
we were both right.
Yes.
Which one of us was righter?
I think that I was probably more righter.
I think so too.
But
that's my
I
verdict.
understood why a person could come to your conclusion because it is a little bit.
I was all the time coming out of the waterfall at the end of the snake run
over the speed
and
bumps.
Then going over one of them or between them.
Terrifying. Yeah.
It's fine. And then cutting backside around that and then hit the quarter pipe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we had a good time. We went down to we went and got shoes. I got shoes.
Oh, we went to Craft Skate Shop, the friendly one.
Yeah, and the guy who runs it has a name. I think it's Brian.
His name is Brian. Why?
Because you said that guy was going to call you.
Oh, at least it doesn't stop the whole thing.
Yeah, because it's on my phone. We put
it's not. It's not that guy.
Oh.
No, his name is.
Should we take it?
His name is saved. No, we won't take it while we're on the air.
While we're alive on the air. We went to Craft, and Brian, right? Was a super nice guy, and his shoes were great price.
$45 a pair.
Vans Pros.
He did.
But here's the thing. I'm in a conundrum because I don't skate every single freaking day anymore. So my feet are getting bigger.
They're changing.
They're changing, and I have
They're loosening up.
They're loosening, and I've got a bunion on my right foot, so I'm struggling to find
bruised
what
his
my
bunion.
size. My bunion hurts, dude. So
he bruised his bunion.
I'm trying to figure out what size shoe I am now and what shoe I'm supposed to buy. Oh, what a hellscape, dude.
Did you ever travel with me during the Midwest Blue Collar Fickleboards days?
Yeah.
And I would have 3 pairs of shoes in the car?
Yeah, you're always just like, switch them out.
That's
and I understand that.
That's the game.
I'm actually understanding
that was an older man's game.
I understand completely.
When your feet haven't decided where they fit in yet. And my feet are different now. I'm down a half size. I don't understand. Yeah. But I wear boots all the time.
But you're also down 35 freaking pounds.
Okay, that's true too.
Right?
In fact, I think it's
40.
It's I went from 210 down to 174.
Savage.
What
dude.
Is that?
That's 34 pounds. 36 pounds.
Yeah.
That's insane, dude.
And I might be less now.
High protein, shredding up, carrying bundles of shingles. Anyway.
Today I got so tired. I didn't know what was wrong with me. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. We had just finished a bunch of work and I hadn't eaten. I don't get hungry. I get tired.
I feel that.
It's
I really
so
do.
weird. And then I waited too long. I was in a business meeting doing
business stuff,
standard operating procedure development, and I put my head down and started to fall straight asleep.
Oh,
and
dude.
I thought, oh, you know what? I told the guys, I said, you know what, guys? I waited too long to eat because I don't feel hungry, and now I have to sleep. I'd have to take a nap just to have enough energy to eat my lunch.
To go eat my lunch. Dude, that's
so funny.
Kind of happened to me today. That's hilarious.
So funny.
Anyway.
I think sugar is bad.
Get him! we met Cohen and his friend, who I can't remember.
Yes.
I got beat in a game of scat.
Yes.
But I did land a frontside shove, which is a miracle. I did
shove it.
Yeah, a frontside pop shove it, which is way hard, dude. It's
coming in from
hard.
1985, a shove it. We did what I think they call nowadays freestyle shove-its.
Okay, like
Yep, just
like real quick. Yep, like no pop.
No pop.
Right.
And when the pop shove it, everyone started wanting to do pop shove-its and skate switch in the 90s.
Right.
I was like, oh man,
This is horrible.
this is too much.
I think I'm gonna go
I'm
be
already
a youth pastor.
I'm already going Mach 9 throwing shove-its both ways.
Oh, you were doing front
360. I can do those kind of shove-its both ways.
the front shove?
I still can, and I
I'd
can
love to watch
still
you
land
do
a
a front
360
shove.
shove-it.
I don't think that you can't do it. I just love to see you do it. I don't think I've ever seen one.
I was on a trip once with a young guy, Micah,
Oh yeah,
and
shredder.
before I could get my coffee, I had to land a 360 shove-it, and I kept tomahawking myself. I gave up and went and got my coffee.
Yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, it's just not worth it to me. You know, the
That's so
tomahawk
funny.
in the navicular bone again and again.
The funicular bone, dude.
Yeah,
That's so funny, bro.
It's
You
no
just
fun.
working yourself.
It's not worth it. I already got the girl.
Yeah. Why? Why even?
I only want to do things that feel fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes me a bad skateboarder.
Yes.
And any degree to which I'm good at skateboarding, the credit lies in that skateboarding that was fun for me.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I'm starting to get that way too. I
is.
did. The funnest thing that we did at Dry Ridge is, I do this all the time, but I just loved it so much. I was going really quick and I'd hit a big bank, and what I do is I don't pop like I'm doing an ollie, but I get weightless and let my tail tap, and there's a moment where I'm falling down the bank. I probably only am off the ground for maybe a foot, but I really, really enjoy that. And then big, at Dry Ridge, you can do this glorious thing. The quarter pipe goes like this. You can hit the coping, and then the metal coping ends, and you go into concrete.
Yep.
So if you do a big slash, you go up to metal and then into the concrete, and you can really push into the concrete. So and then down. Oof, dude.
Yep. Very satisfying.
Lord of mercy, it's
very
so nice,
satisfying.
Dude. Yeah. So
we did, and we filmed nothing. We
Yeah.
did no filming. I got a very appreciated admonishment from Jeremy J.
Jeremy J.
Jeremy J is out in North Carolina.
What did he say?
He wrote me a message. I will do a correspondence
What up,
feature.
idiots?
He wrote me a message, and the message was,
why don't you guys post more TikToks?
It was, dude, you got to get on here. You got to get on here, and you gotta. I don't understand how this works.
I hate
a TikTok's interface is awful. Let's view all. Oh gracious, there's so much on here.
This is
here it is. I found it. I found the thread. Yeah, this is that video of me.
Yeah, of you.
And then
such a good one.
He wrote, "I want to see more skating from you." And I wrote,
I don't have any chorus.
"Honestly, let me just jump on my Road King and head down to you, and then get some hugs and talk, probably an ugly cry."
Probably ugly.
He writes, "Anytime, man, sincerely."
Aww.
And then it's not loading.
That's really.
But
get off that Wi-Fi. Oh
then
yeah, I understand.
I don't
it's
have
fine.
another option.
No, I get it.
I guess I could. Then
Dude,
then he
we
writes.
should get LTE on it.
Then he writes, "Thank you." He writes, "Anytime, man, sincerely." I wrote, "Thank you. I'm very heartbroken about skateboarding. When I'm doing it, I'm always in a pretty vulnerable mindset." And he wrote, "Heartbroken in what way?"
Oh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's dish.
And I done been seeing some things. I think I'll just write that to him right now.
This is live.
I know we're live.
I know.
He's not watching.
I'm telling our listeners.
How do I?
Is it not? No, type it right now. You're replying.
Oh, that's hilarious. I can't see the.
He was tapping the reply.
I wish we could have you on the screen while I'm trying to.
Open on the bottom.
It's so funny.
That was awesome.
You know, I touch type.
Dude, oh yeah.
But I started with typewriters.
Yeah. Ticket. I don't been.
I done bent. Seent.
That's BINT bent. That's
I've done been seeing some things.
I like it.
So anyways, yes, well, I mean, I think everyone who's listened for any amount of time knows that I have got a perspective that lives within me and goes everywhere I go.
Yeah.
My mind.
You could say.
My mind is not neutral about life.
Yeah.
And that's an effect of exposure to Jesus, the scripture, experiencing the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And it it makes me see things differently than I used to, and that was a long time ago.
Sure.
But it's not, because the same seeing things the way I used to lives in me as well.
Yeah.
The angry, greedy, you know, just dag nasty me hasn't left the building. It's, I'm on that carcass drag.
I'm
The
carcass
old
dragging.
man me has been around the whole time. It's not like I have to look back to when I was 15.
Yeah.
I had I had a dynamic change in my thoughts and attitudes about life, but I didn't become a different person entirely.
Hmm.
So I've dragged the same carcass around that was dragging me around before I saw the light.
Yeah.
But being this way and having this perspective has been a little bit hard for me to know what to do about. I don't think I've always done exactly the thing I would do if I were older and wiser.
Hmm.
But I really don't like bullying. And I don't like bullying in a way that is probably a little nope, it's not
That's
overdone.
it. Yeah.
It's not
That's
overdone.
nope.
I back me on this.
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
I really don't like bullying. And here's the problem: once you start going down this rabbit hole, is advertisement is bullying.
Hmm.
So often the underlying premise of skateboarding advertisement is a subtle ultimatum
Ultimatum.
that if you don't ride what's cool,
Hmm.
you're not cool.
Yeah.
If you don't admire what we tell you to admire, then no one will admire you. And by the way, being admired, I mean, I'm not sure how valuable that really is,
Hmm.
but here we are.
And yet here we are.
Yet here we are
Yeah.
in a culture that is deeply rooted in skateboarding. Our culture
Yeah.
is deeply rooted in the admiration of other people. And that's a kind of overused word, but that's a problematic situation,
Sure.
because it is not a virtue to be invested in other people's opinion about you.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Um, there are degrees to which it is valuable to, for example, your reputation is worth more than gold.
Hmm.
In the business world, for your company, it would be better for you to take an L
Yeah.
so that later on people could recognize the value of doing business with you.
Yeah.
That reputation is worth more than, but that's not just what people think about you.
Yeah. It's the way you behave.
And also, a reputation that's worth more than gold is also your bad reputation. The people
Hmm.
who hate you and their criticisms of you could be a real recommendation of you
Yeah.
to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm actually not without a certain satisfaction or even a pride
Yeah.
as you go into the wider world and you might meet people who know about me or heard of me, and they may say some terrible sounding things about me. And I think that some of that might speak actually really well of me if you get to know what kind of people those are.
Yeah.
And that's nuanced, and a lot of people they're not into nuance. They just get intimidated by controversy
Yeah.
because they don't want people to think bad of them. They
Yeah.
want everyone to think they're admirable and cool.
Yeah.
And that's garbage. That's garbage culture. And I think it's garbage. And I think that the first people that it hurts are the last people that they notice. Yep. I think it's the weak people, the fat kid,
Yeah.
the kid who's got gender issues, the kid who's got emotional issues, the suicidal kid.
Hmm.
These are the people who women
Yeah.
get pummeled by this, and that whole ecosystem of glad handing, bro hugging, camera hogging guys. They just eat all the corn, man.
Hmm.
All the pigs get all the corn,
Yeah.
and they Jake Phelps their way through it, and they're
Uh,
not going to take accountability. And if they're not careful, the sad thing is, it's not like I have any delight at all in the destruction that comes.
sure.
Um, I do think people get away with things in this world. I do. I don't think that nobody gets away with anything. There's a very popular pop psychologist right now, Jordan Peterson, who he's pop psychology.
Is that what that is?
I think so. I really do.
I don't think so.
I think there's a poppiness to it.
I get, yeah.
I do. I think there's a pretentiousness to it. I
Hmm.
think there's a poppiness to it. I think there's an arrogance to it that I'm not in. I'm not down for.
Hmm.
I think that a lot of times you'll be listening to someone and you're like, wow, that's wow, that's wow. And by the time you're 3 wows in,
Yeah,
they've taken you deeper than you know to go.
sure.
You actually aren't learning. You're
Hmm.
being entertained by their knowledge.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I think that we should be on our guard against people who overwhelm us with their articulate, you know,
Hmm.
like, tell,
I'm gonna chew on that.
how is denim made? How do they make it?
Yeah, right.
What is it made of?
Right, this.
You would be dead if this was a real scenario.
That right
You know,
there.
What did he say?
How is denim made?
Right. Anyway. So one of the problems is it's fine if you're getting something from someone who's a popular pundit or
Sure.
psychology person, but what was it?
Yeah. No, that's an important.
Really, what was it?
Sure.
What did you get? Okay, say it.
Sure.
Say what you learned.
Mhm.
Say how you think now, how you thought then, or did you just come away with a comforting tribal affiliation to a personality?
I wonder if that has more to do with the listener than it has to do with the pundit. Sometimes it's.
I'm asking the listeners.
Yeah, right.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm
I
asking
think,
the listeners.
right.
Now, as far as the pundit goes, there are lots of people that like. I can't stand sloppy arguers. I can't stand
Yeah.
people who use logical fallacies, and I can't stand people when people,
Yeah, yeah.
not people who, but it is not something I tolerate well
Mm-hmm.
when people's arguments lever with coercive exclusion ultimatums.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ultimata, actually.
Okay. Oh,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I also don't like when they use pretentiously high reasoning when
Mhm.
it could have been said, you know, I tend to get more from, like, you know who Phil Robertson is?
Oh yeah.
He's the Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah.
And he sits down and he crosses his skinny little legs in his little camo comfy pants on
Yeah.
his overstuffed chair
Yeah.
with his Bible open on his lap, and he says something I already know.
Yeah. Sure.
He says stuff like, well, you should just fear God and try and do what's right.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, not really a Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah.
Not
a hunter.
Not a hunter.
Right.
Not really into. I mean, I would be a hunter if it had been my path, but I'm
Yeah.
not. And I don't. I like fireworks, and I
Yeah.
like the idea of
Gunpowder.
going mudding,
Yeah. Sure.
and I'd love to shoot tannerite
Oh
and
yeah.
blow something up, but I don't.
Yeah.
And you know why?
Hmm.
Because when you blow up a tree with tannerite,
The limbs come.
they
Your
come
way.
flying at
Yeah,
you.
dude. I've
I
seen
mean,
the
a
videos.
6-inch piece of
Yeah.
tree
Wow.
bark
Yeah.
can go right through your shoulder.
Yeah, dude.
You
Like
know?
your face. Yeah. No, I get it.
I'm not. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
I'm not
you're
there.
risk averse. I get it.
I'm risk averse.
Yeah.
And so I'm not cool.
Yeah. So I'm not cool.
But I really struggle with bullies.
Yeah.
I really do. And when I see bullying, I tend to speak in ways that make bullies want to not be seen by me.
Yeah.
And that is a good thing.
It is. But it comes at a price.
Bullies don't. Right. So to Jeremy J in North Carolina, by the way, love you, brother. I'm disappointed to say that I've been seeing some things, and it has become my opinion that knownst or unknownst, the skateboarding industry has exhibited strong complicity with some of the worst trajectories to the exclusion of some of the best.
Sure.
And most of it for the simple reason that they didn't want the center of their influence to shift.
Yeah.
I learned last night on a video that when Andy Anderson went on tour with Powell,
yeah,
one of the guys pissed in his helmet.
Dude.
Another guy put his helmet behind the van, and it got run over.
I'd fist fight somebody straight up.
They're good kids. I like the Powell team very, very much.
Yeah, and maybe it's all in good fun. Maybe it's fine, but I'm bothered by that.
I am bothered by it too, not because Andy Anderson can't get a new helmet.
Yeah.
Although that's a real bummer to me.
Yeah.
But because making fun of a guy because he wears a helmet is awful close to behaviors I've seen. Well, it's not awfully close. It's the same thing I've seen so many times. And of course, it's just kids being, oh, they're 24.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude. Yeah.
It's like they're 24-year-old men. I'm not big into helmets.
Well, I'm not big on people tucking my stuff.
I'm real big into people respecting each other. Real big into it.
Yes.
Sometimes I despair that I would ever be able to work in skateboarding because I just take it so seriously.
That's so funny.
I bummed out a guy last week, handed me a flyer for an event. And on the flyer, we're not going to talk about what the event is.
Yeah.
But on the flyer is a pinup girl with a black eye.
Yeah.
And a bandage on her thigh, like a crossed band-aids.
Yeah. It's like a design. It's like a artistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's art thing.
And I looked at it and I immediately was like, if she were wearing roller skates, it'd be a double thumbs up.
Sure. Yeah.
Because
that's part of that culture.
That's roller girls.
Yeah.
And that's honestly,
punk rock.
I dig that punk rock,
yeah.
roller girl, tough guy girl thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like that's empowered.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah.
It wasn't. She was, I don't know what she had on her feet. She had
a skateboard.
She had woman's shoes. I don't know.
Yeah. She had like Vans on and a skateboard.
And I got real bummed.
Yeah.
And I was like, also the word skank was in the thing.
Bro. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you know what? I don't think that. I just was like, dude, I'm bummed on this. I'm just bummed. I'm tired of it. This is very. I'm not into the woke thing. I'm not into that. I'm not a fifth wave feminist.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm sick of wasting our time in skateboarding with the same stupid stuff.
I know.
There's all kinds of piratey things that you could put on a flyer that are aggressive and gnarly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like horror.
Yeah.
I never liked Pusshead because that's how the demonic gets a hold of you. It is. That's like playing with Ouija boards. But it's true.
That and Harry Potter.
Do you want to have bats in the belfry? Because that's how you get bats in the belfry.
Do you want that?
But I've always loved daggers and scimitars and cutlasses.
Sure. Right. And skulls.
I always loved. I love skulls.
Yeah.
And I love biker stuff and Americana. I like Sailor Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, I like that stuff. I like it, and I think everyone has is able to like that without giving up any piece of themselves. You know.
Sure.
But and I saw that flyer, and I was just so bummed.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, man. Like, seriously, if it's for everyone, make it for everyone. Because there's plenty of common ground. Nope, it's got to be some sort of domestic violence situation. You know, bum me out.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think it's funny because I think you're right. Your perspective has been influenced by 15 years, 20 years of working hard in an industry and saying things that are, in my opinion, true and also pointing things out that other people just aren't seeing because they're so intrinsic to the culture, right? Like, the cool guy is like so ingrained into skateboarding culture that when you say, I don't really like this cool guy thing, everybody's like, what are you even talking about? They can't even see it.
I'm talking about jocks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not jocks, you know?
I grew up with the dead Kennedys. And even as a believing Christian,
don't say it, Lou.
You know, like as a religious person.
Yeah.
In the 1980s, the dead Kennedys were onto something.
Sure.
They were onto something, that the corruption of power in government should be ridiculed, exposed. It should be resisted through free speech.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And that's a core value. And corruption in an industry or a culture, the same. All right. So come into skateboarding, and so many of the dead Kennedy songs, like Jocko Rama, they wrote those about the wrestling and football guys that used to beat us up.
Sure. Except we became them.
I'm seeing it like, I cannot believe the cool guy garbage that ran the culture. Garbage. You know, if you're one of those guys and you're listening to this podcast, you have in me a friend in regard to the transcendent and eternal things in life, but you have in me an opponent in regard to your cultural contributions, your open public speech,
Yeah.
your who's got the weed,
Ugh.
that you publish out, and you set up the session on booze and weed, and you set up your demo schedule on strip shows and garbage partying, and then there's
Yeah.
cocaine, and then there's XYZ sponsored rider takes pills as his on Instagram.
Sure.
And you're just cool with all of it. You're cool with all that. You keep the secrets,
Yeah.
all the dirty dealings and dirty deeds. You keep the secrets. Kids get hurt.
Yeah.
You create an environment through your influence and authority in which children are more vulnerable to terrible things, some of which happened on your watch.
Yeah.
And
that you quickly shut down.
Anyone who speaks up about or against it, you give them what I just came to call the treatment. You declare them controversial, or you declare them a kook or a Barney,
Yeah.
and they're out. And I watched this happen for over a decade in my area of the country. And while I spoke out about it, I had people reach out to me all across the country from skateboarding and tell me tales of woe that gave me the ugly cries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, skateboarding can be fun.
Yeah.
When I've got my work done and I'm riding skateboards with my friends.
Yeah.
It can be very fun. But skateboarding as a community or as a culture is not a war zone, and it should be. It should be a war zone.
Yeah.
We should be standing up in our own communities about things. And we're not. We're going along to get along. And this is, by the way, this transcends skateboarding.
Yeah.
This is our American culture. We've gone along to get along because we are all rich enough to have enough stuff that if we couldn't play with theirs, we could buy our own and play with ours.
Sure.
And I'm at a point developmentally where this bums me out. And it's very sad to me to go to the skate park and see it empty when it should be full of kids and big kids having fun with the stupid wooden toy.
Yeah.
Or to go to a skate park and see the rippers knocking over scooter kids this year.
Yeah.
Watching a guy who's an anti-hero sticker bearing ripper knock over a scooter kid and stand on it.
Yeah.
Stand on it and say, yeah, you shouldn't be in the way. I'm trying to do a trick there.
Right.
When it's egregious and it's inappropriate. It's wrong. It's bad. It's bullying. It's so bad.
Right.
And so Jeremy J, asks me, what kind of thing you talking about? And I just can't unsee what. You like your indie truck sticker,
Yeah.
By the way, I'm a sucker for iron crosses.
I know,
love them,
dude. And I love indies. Yeah.
I tried to get an iron cross tattooed on my ribs.
And they said no?
No. I went in to get the iron cross on, and the artist started, and he put 2 lines on me.
That one, yeah.
And he froze up.
And he's like,
he had a panic attack.
Poor buddy.
It was his own life.
Yeah.
And I love this guy.
Me too, yeah.
He froze up, and he said, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy you a cover-up on these 2 lines I put on you.
Yeah.
And I hugged him, and I was like, dude, you're all right.
Yeah.
He did. And instead of a 3-inch indie iron cross, I got this.
Oh, it's that one.
It is.
Show it.
I got this.
Oh, what a spot to get a tattoo.
I got that whole thing, man.
Just blasted. Sick.
He just paid for it for another artist.
Good for
Excellent
him.
artist.
Made that right, dude.
Made it so right. I
Made
can't
it
believe
right.
But I'm a sucker for iron crosses. But when I see an indie ad, I just think of the decades of F the rest, ride the best.
Yeah.
You're not cool if you're not with us. Super aggro, contest winning indie stuff. And I ride indies. I like them. They're good trucks.
The best truck out there,
I ride whatever truck I want to. But there's baggage for me.
Yeah, sure.
Every time I'm riding indies, I like the iron cross, but I'm bummed on the decades and decades of hyper negative, inferiority based. They affirm your inferiority complex. They make you sick and they sell you the cure. You can see this all over the place.
Yeah.
Hey kid, you want to be cool?
We got it.
That inside that statement, you want to be cool, then you should ride this. Well,
right.
Inside that statement is the very subtle but very potent pill.
Yeah.
It's a poison pill, and the poison pill is you're not cool.
Yeah.
You're not cool yet. And you don't hear a kid go like you don't hear a kid skate his board until it's just thrashed and then like buys a new deck and he's like, I love the way these trucks turn. The kid's board is still good enough and he's like, I gotta get some indie trucks because so and so said
Right.
I should have them.
Right. And I'm not cool if I don't.
And I see that as like, it's not like mental illness. It's very similar. It's character illness. And I did just obtain, through the generous kindness of Life Skateboards, who bring you this episode.
Yeah.
I just obtained a set of 10-inch aces.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bro. Just glorious 10-inch aces.
If there's anything I appreciate about Ace trucks is they just advertised on the trucks being better.
Yeah, sure.
And they didn't even say their trucks were better. They said they turned better.
Which is true. It depends. I mean,
it was true
better,
till Indy put out a new reissue of its Stage 4s.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the new Aces are essentially just a complete replica of the Indies. I'm sorry. It's just absolutely true. I'm riding a set right now. They feel exactly the same way the Indy does. They don't turn any better. They're exactly the same. Indy is great. Ace is fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It is fine.
I'm thinking about what you're saying. It's funny. I think when you talk the way that you're talking,
I'm so mad about it.
I know, and it's funny because people don't understand, because in their mind they feel totally entitled to have skateboarding just be like a vector of relaxation and fun in which they feel like they can abstain from any cultural responsibility.
Just like watch a guy knock a kid down and
not
say one word.
Right, because I'm not here. Exactly.
It's not the guy who knocked the kid down. Obviously, that person is deficient.
Yes.
And they're sick.
Right.
They don't understand some things.
Right.
And that they need those things taught to them.
Right, sure.
And I'm not talking about regulating with physical violence.
No.
I'm meaning just conversationally asserting with maturity.
Yes.
With maturity
and gentleness. Absolutely.
And saying, yeah, no, we don't knock the scooter kid down.
Yeah, what are you doing, man? You're a full grown adult. Right.
And yes, it does escalate. Yes, people will be like, what, do you want to go?
And you're like, no.
I'm like, no, I want to stay.
Yeah.
I want to stay healthy. I want to stay happy. And I want to stay out of jail.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And I'd like for you to stay out of the hospital. So let's get along.
Yeah, it's fine. Right.
Like this is fine.
Yeah.
Because I will not take off my rings.
Yeah, no, yeah. And there's like 7 of them. They're bad.
I'm not interested in physical violence. I think there's a way to avoid physical violence in almost every single circumstance.
Okay.
I have had so much practice avoiding physical violence in my life. I think that if there's a martial art to master, it is the art of avoiding physical violence. I was listening today to Hammurabi's Code.
Okay.
Hammurabi? Mesopotamians.
Oh.
Sumerians.
I know. The Anunnaki. I'm with you.
And in this ancient wisdom is like, if 2 guys get in a fight, if a man strikes another man's cheek, so it says, if a working man strikes the cheek of I forget how it put it, but of a high class man, he shall be struck with an oxtail 60 times.
Oh my gosh.
If a working man strikes the cheek of another working man, he will pay I think it was a shekel of silver.
Okay.
It was in shekels.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
It's fine.
And then if he strikes the daughter of a high class man, he will pay a mina of silver. That's a lot.
Okay.
If he kills the daughter of a high class man, then his daughter shall be killed.
So gnarly.
I'm listening to this and I'm going, okay, those were different times.
Yeah, gnarly, bro. Right.
But what I'm getting from it, listening to Hammurabi's Code, is don't hit.
Whatever you do,
don't hit each other.
Yeah, I mean, straight up.
Like, don't hit each other.
Right.
You're gonna suffer if you go around hitting each other.
Yeah.
And when I was young and I would get in a fight.
Yeah.
I noticed the people I fought with would hit me in the face.
Ugh.
And I noticed I think it's a God-given sensitivity in me that I never wanted to hit anyone's face,
Even when you were little?
even when I was young.
Oh, that's fascinating. Sure.
I never wanted to hit. The only person I've ever full-on punched in the face is my brother.
Classic, dude.
I don't know what age I was, maybe 12,
Okay.
11.
Was he older or younger? He's
He's
younger.
2.5 years older than
Oh,
I am.
older.
And we were out on a cold night, and
Yeah.
I punched him right in the face just to see
I
what
bet
it
it
felt like.
stung so bad.
It didn't hurt my hand. It hurt his face.
Yeah.
I was just a little kid. He was like 13. I was like 11.
Yeah.
It didn't bruise him,
Yeah.
but he was so upset with me,
Yeah.
and he didn't fight me back.
Uh-huh.
And I felt such deep shame
Dude.
because it was a truly selfish act.
Yeah.
And
had he like asked for it in any way, or
No.
you're just like, I'm gonna punch.
No,
I'm gonna
I
just
just
do it.
punched him in the face. I had a mitten on.
Dude, that's so
I had a
fun.
mitten on,
Dude.
and I just
Boys are such a
whacked
trip,
him in the
dude.
cheekbone,
Yeah, you just
right
wanted
under
to
his
see-
left eye
You
with
just
my
wanted
right
to
hand.
see what was going on, right?
And sorry, Bri.
Yeah, love you, bud.
To this day,
Yeah.
we never talked about it.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
dude.
gonna call him up.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm so. You remember that time?
We did talk about it.
Yeah.
We did, but it's funny because it was only about a year later that we both joined martial arts, and
Oh, I'm glad it was before that.
and we started training together all the time. It completely dissipated all the tension between us growing up.
That's
Our teenage
awesome.
years, we didn't fight at all because we went 4 days a week to learn how to fight together.
Right. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually a life. I'm gonna write that down in my journal.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was
I'll have another
badass.
son. I
It
gotta figure
was.
that out. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and but yeah. So this culture, this world that we're living in,
Yeah.
you know, by the time you're mowing down scooter kids and challenging other men to a fight, and I'm talking about men in their 30s,
Dude, it's
men in
so
their 40s,
so dumb.
and it's all this anti-hero sticker stuff.
Yeah, egotistic,
And
selfish, entitled.
unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
Just yesterday I saw on my YouTube feed, I didn't watch it because it's so heartbreaking, but another person punched another person in the face and caused a brain injury with lifelong getting fed by his wife by a spoon.
Oh no.
And the guy who punched him is on the hook for that. You fight someone, you're married to him.
Straight up, dude.
Straight up.
There's people who hit somebody in the face once and the guy falls and dies, and you will go to prison.
Well, Terry Kennedy, nobody wants. People do want to talk about it, but you know, Terry Kennedy in prison for a number of years now. I think he's away for like 12 years.
Oh.
And he beat a guy. He had rings on, so he caught a weapons charge on the rings.
No.
He beat the guy up.
Dude.
Thought it was just another Brooklyn beatdown.
And sure enough, dude.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit
Life
on the podcast.
Comes at you fast, bro.
And this is what you get when you affirm these kind of things, and when you let this sort of stuff grow. It's not good.
It's funny. It really is. I remember when we first were skating together, you would talk like this, and I couldn't see it. I didn't have eyes to see yet. I was really working to understand where you were coming from. It's funny because it took a couple of years for it to really cook in, and to begin to see, oh, people really are treating other people so poorly, and they have dire consequences when you do these things. And it's funny because it's really changed the way that I look at the world. And as I was in that stage, just engaging my own life in very specific ways, there's this like shock and awe that happens sometimes when you're in a really gnarly situation, and it's like the things that everybody talks about that you think are stupid and ridiculous are kind of happening in front of you, and you begin to realize like, oh, dude, all the older people in my life who've been saying this have been completely right the entire time. And this is super gnarly, and I don't even know how to figure this out, you know? And all the conversations you had are like swirling around in your head as you're engaging it. I really think people, if you haven't experienced it, it's really hard to see. But once you have, it's really hard to not see it all the time everywhere. And especially if you feel like I'm going to go skate, and when I go skate, I'm totally entitled to not engage with any sense of social responsibility to the people around me, because this is my time to relax. My life is hard, so I'm just gonna go and only enjoy this. I'm not gonna feel any responsibility to the little kids or the fat kids or the kid whose parents are drug addicts and feels like he wants to kill himself, and
Oh
that
man,
stuff is surrounded. We're surrounded by it, dude. If you go to the skate park, you're surrounded by it, unless you live in a super nice part of the country. If you skate in the Midwest, you're surrounded by it.
I'm not sure it's exclusive to the Midwest. The whole "you should kill yourself" thing that I heard so
Dude,
many times in the
bro.
early 2000s.
Yeah,
It was a common slur to hear from sponsored riders.
yeah,
"You should kill yourself" was a
yeah. Don't
common
say
thing
that
to
to another
hear,
person. Oh my
and
goodness.
and I would go home and I would write these PSAs on my. I'm actually kind of grateful.
Yeah,
um, I feel cleansed now that Facebook, like my account got hacked and is now no longer.
sure.
And I'm on an even older account that has no
I
has
love it.
no meaning anymore.
Right.
But would you plug that in over
Yeah,
there?
my guy, I got you.
But I was
Ooh.
I would go home and I would do a PSA and I'd be like, "You matter."
Yeah,
If just in case you were at the skate park and someone said this to you,
yeah,
you matter. Please don't leave the game. Don't leave
sure.
the chat.
Right. Yeah.
And let's
Is
see
it
the light
charging right
on.
now?
No light.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
it's
on.
on.
It's
Yep,
on? Okay,
we're
good.
good. Don't leave the chat,
Yeah.
kids. And I would write those, and the guys who behaved that way in front of me, they would call it throwing shade. But there is such a difference between going home and writing a general PSA
Yeah.
to all the kids out there who might get spoken to that way,
Yeah.
and then uh, and throwing shade on
What? On what?
on
Right.
what exactly?
Right.
Because if your public behavior as the owner of a skate shop or the sponsoring brand of
Right.
riders, or a rider for a sponsoring brand, or a former pro
Yeah.
who owns your own company, or it's funny because the people in my history who I don't know if they lurk my media anymore, but they'll be like, "He's talking about me," and I'm like, I'm actually talking about 100 people.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
talking about 1,000 people
But if you feel like
that
I
aren't
am,
you.
I probably
But
am.
if that's the way that you're acting and speaking in public,
Mm-hmm.
then somebody should have caught you up on that a long time ago. They should
Yeah.
have ripped your sponsorship away and told you
Yeah.
you're no good for the role of an example.
Absolutely.
You're no better off than a guy
Oh,
who wore his headphones too
stop,
tight and has a
dude.
dent in the top of his
You
head.
got a head trench, my guy. You're gonna have to go to physical therapy.
You have a head trench in your mind.
In your mind. No, it
Your
really is
mind's
true.
not right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's this thing. You talk about dire
Go
consequences.
ahead. Yeah.
In Proverbs chapter 5:12 and following is this lament
Yeah.
of the fool,
Yeah.
the young fool. In this case, he's gone after the seductive woman,
Ooh.
and he's committed adultery with another man's wife, and he says, "How I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction.
Yeah.
I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined my ear to those who instructed me. I was on the verge of total ruin in the midst of the assembly and congregation." Right in front of everyone, your life falls apart.
Yeah.
Going back to verse 12, "How I have hated instruction and my heart despised correction." There are values in America
Mm-hmm.
strongly inculcated in us.
Yeah.
They're ground into us from the time we're kids.
Yeah.
To hate correction. We hate being corrected.
Yeah.
And we hate being instructed.
Yeah.
The most base instincts of the teenage, adolescent, juvenile
Yeah.
self have been indulged by a culture and a system of thought that infantilize us.
Yeah.
We throw tantrums like little baby kids.
Yeah.
We don't develop emotional regulation. We don't learn to regulate our emotions. And so we grow into 35 and 40 and 45-year-olds who still want to throw hands at the bar over nothing more than a slight to an overly developed and overly fragile ego.
Yeah.
And this is skateboarding. In Cincinnati, we used to have skateboarding events. We don't really have them anymore. We used to have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well before your time.
Yeah. No, I believe
We used
you.
to have skateboarding events 4 or 5 times a summer,
Mhm.
different places and stuff. And the owner of the skate shop is in a fight, a fist fight, a brawl with a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
there's a fist fight and a brawl at like all of them. They're breaking bottles in the
Yeah,
street. They're
of course.
pissing on cars.
Yeah.
They're all this stuff. And this was Cincinnati skateboarding that was so proud of itself. Cincinnati skateboarding is going to stomp on a kid's board and throw it in the river.
As
you
ad
know?
copy, right?
Yeah, as ad copy.
Right.
And the reason I speak about it isn't because I'm bringing up old stuff. It's because it's still here.
Yeah.
And I hate it. And I want you, dear listener, to speak up about it,
Yeah.
real time where you are.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord said we're the salt of the earth, but salt that's lost its flavor is good for nothing.
Yeah.
And in skateboarding, we shouldn't be good for nothing because it's not about skateboarding.
Yeah.
You want to have a community of skateboarders and pretend everything's just fine.
Yeah.
And then you want to encourage people to go on to their death.
Yeah.
You know, or you want to pretend skateboarding is some sort of a community and we're all welcome, but you're going to put up with that kind of thing. And you're going to watch at public skate parks a kid get knocked down riding a scooter.
Bro.
And you're going to be fine with it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be fine with things.
Right.
That's not about skateboarding or enjoying your hedonistic toy.
Yeah.
That's about being it's about being a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I'm not into the Toys R Us.
I mean, the freaking, I'm just mind boggled by the reasoning, you know, like, oh, you shouldn't have been in my way, or you shouldn't be here.
That's what a nasty little 8-year-old boy whose daddy never beat him.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
It's dark, dude.
You know, his daddy didn't discipline him, so he grew up wild.
Yeah.
And he gets to go, well, you were in my way.
Right.
And he gets to do that until he's about 14.
Yeah.
And he tries it with an 18-year-old.
And
this is back in the day, right. You know, this is back when I grew up in New York. If you were like that, you got the absolute break speed off you.
Yeah, absolutely.
By a kid who was almost a grown-up.
Yeah. Gnarly, dude.
And I don't think that's good.
No.
And I don't think we should do that to people.
No.
But those regulations have been out of service for a long time. We've got men in their 30s now who, it's funny because they say, like, about a guy like me, they'll listen to me talk like this and they'll say, well, he wouldn't talk like that in real life. And you know, like he like guys will say anything on the internet. Well, that may or may not be the case, but no, you.
No, you, dog.
Yeah. You.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. You talking about shit talking. I'm talking about janitorial services. We're trying to bring a mop in here.
Yeah.
And so I've got a lot of mileage in that. A lot of mileage, and my worst experience of all of it isn't being surrounded by a bunch of guys who want to beat me up as an adult for saying adult things in a proper adult way.
Yeah.
My worst experience is the huge crowd of people who knew that was going on.
Yeah.
Who watched Donnie getting knocked down. That was the thing. While I was being surrounded, another guy was getting really hurt.
Yeah, right.
By the same crew, same way, same vibe, and everyone's fine with it.
Yeah.
Everyone's just fine with it. Everyone was just super fine with it.
Right.
And the worst experience was having one of the nicest people in my life tell me, I think you should stay home from this skate trip because we're not going to be safe if you're there because so many people hate you, even though we're proud of you for the things they hate you for.
Right.
We just want to have a good time and you shouldn't come with us. That person is no longer like that. They're not in that place. But and it's not because, oh, I didn't get to go skate with my guys.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go skate with my guys when they said that.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you guys go. I'm going to stay home.
Sure.
Because I don't want to skate with, I didn't want to skate with them either.
Yeah, right.
Why would I spend my time with people who are going to throw you under the bus like that?
Sure.
And that's what I think of most skateboarders. I think they're good timers and hedonists who would happily throw you under the bus in order for, I don't know, pick a pro to think that they're cool.
Yeah, right.
Fanboys,
right.
Weak-minded, hedonistic fanboys, almost to a man.
Sure.
And if you're not like that, I'll probably notice it.
Yeah. Yeah,
but that's what I've come to expect from the skateboarding public. And so that's why, Jeremy J.
Yeah.
That's why, my guy.
You carry all the baggage with you when you skate. Plus the no core strength, it's hard to do frontside disasters. Though you still do
I can do
them.
frontside
You
disasters.
do them, and they
I
are nice.
probably have a little bit of core
You
strength.
probably have more than we
I
think.
probably have to cop to some core strength.
Yeah, and you know, it's really, it's nice. All this comes to fruition when you have an engagement with a person that maybe you didn't think mattered very much, and then they hit you up like 2 years later,
Everybody matters. Yeah.
and they tell you, "Hey, I want you to know that when you said that to me, I that gave me the I was going to leave the chat and I didn't because you were kind to me for 15 minutes at the skate park and paid attention." Or that interaction I had at the gym. I've told the story before, but it was really potent. It was a potent moment in my life. I encouraged a dude who was at the gym who was very small, and he seemed like he was having a really hard day, and I just gave him a fist bump and said, "I think you're doing great out there." And he stopped me the next time I saw him, or the time after that, maybe a month later, and said, "You know, I was having a really, really bad day, and what you said really meant a lot to me, and it mattered." And it just goes to show that the way that we treat other people, even if it doesn't seem like it matters in the moment, really matters sometimes, much more than we think it ever will.
And if you're listening to this and you're one of those guys you've got your own mental health problems
Yeah,
and you've behaved badly,
yeah,
I'd like you to hear that we really are bringing this to the industry.
sure.
We're bringing this to folks like the Bunt, who have no problem just glad handing along with some of the most horrible, dire consequence level stuff
Yeah,
out there,
yeah,
perfectly happy to affirm the obvious and public decline of people like Cater Silla getting strip mined out by the industry. Nobody's
yeah,
calling it out.
yeah.
Nobody's talking about it. Our critique of those kind of public industry messaging
Mm-hmm.
things is not to be confused with, you knocked down a kid, you were nasty about it, but you've got your own story that brought you to that moment, and
Yeah,
we have love for you
yeah,
in that, and we have an appreciation for the things that bring people into that headspace.
yeah,
And so we really think you still belong.
yeah.
But in the industry of public, like public stuff,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's no excuse for this kind of thing, none. And I'm talking about Big Brother. I'm talking about like almost the whole trajectory of witty and intelligent people like Chris Neratko
Hmm.
and what's the other guy's name? He was an editor for
Big Brother.
he's one of the big guys. These guys are witty and they're smart, but they are hedonistic and immoral,
Yeah,
and they're no good for you.
hmm.
And leave them; they are blind guides. They're
Yeah,
self-righteous in their, you know, I it's rough.
yeah. I think
I
I said,
did love Chris Neratko's interview with Falcon Skates guy,
oh, Todd Falcon.
Todd Falcon.
Yeah,
I
dude.
did. I
Heck
do
yeah,
love
heck yeah,
that.
bro.
Which I used to
Heck
read
yeah.
that aloud. Were you ever
Oh, it was
there?
so good,
You were
dude.
there
Yeah, the
in
reading
Savannah.
aloud. Yeah,
Yeah,
the reading aloud of the
I
Todd
read
Falcon
it aloud
articles.
as a bedtime story for
Yeah, it
everyone.
was
It's
beautiful, dude.
super fun.
God
Super
bless
fun.
Todd Falcon wherever he's at today, man.
Yeah.
I say this every time we talk about this stuff, but I think it's just important to keep on saying that if you're the type of person who is listening to this maybe and realize, oh, I'm that dude at the skate park, dude, it's never too late to just maybe make a change. And it really, there is an aspect to which it's going to be very difficult, but there is also an aspect to which it's actually not that difficult to make a change, to begin to behave differently, to begin to recognize that the way that you behave affects other people. You're not entitled to have a good time every time you go skate, and crack your Bible, son.
Back to that Proverbs
Yeah.
chapter 5 verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
How I have hated instruction, and my heart has despised correction. If this catches you out, and you're one of the complicit, there's a saying in the scripture that the fear of man is a snare.
Yeah.
It traps you. If you're afraid to stand a line against evil because you're afraid of losing all your friends, you are a coward in
Yeah.
your attitude, and that's going to show in your behavior. And that may keep all your friends, but it's costing. And so I guess I'm instructing you to make a break with that inner attitude. And I guess I'm correcting you. I would say, if I may be so bold, but I will be so bold.
But I am.
Yeah, you should definitely take some attention and place it upon your character.
Yeah.
And you should definitely apprise. You should learn that you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
And you should definitely change. And the next verse, 13, says, I have not obeyed the voice of my teachers. I got 66 books written over a period of, I don't know, 1,500 years,
Yeah.
1,200 years.
Something.
This is dope, the good kind.
This is dope.
And my teachers they go back to the days of the Sumerian kings, you know?
Yeah.
Like Job was written during the time of, I mean, it could possibly have been before Noah.
That would be a trip.
It could possibly have been before. I learned.
That's actually an interesting.
Fun tidbit.
Go ahead.
I learned that from Adam, let me get it right. From Adam to Moses, okay?
7 generations?
7. Is 7 people.
Yeah.
It was not 7 generations. I think it was 24 generations.
Okay, more, sure.
Or it was 24 generations.
Okay.
Some number.
Yeah.
But the lifespan overlap of the oral transmission was 7 patriarchs long.
Okay.
That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. From Adam to Moses was actually tighter than it looked.
Yeah. Because people would live in 987 billion years.
In the beginning, it does appear from the scripture. And by the way, like just so you know, I am done with my 8th grade earth science. I don't care if the world is. I tend to be a globe earther.
A globe earther.
I do.
A globe tard.
A globe tard.
That's what they call it. People in the flat Earth community.
And then Spotify just took us right off of that.
Yeah, and you're done. My phone shuts off.
I had what I do think is that we live in a time that's very temporary. This life is very fleeting. This realm we live in is very temporary. And that we will be in eternity for eternity after this. Whether you get hit by a bus, or you get your cancer, or you get mown down on your motorcycle, which looks very likely for me.
Bro.
I don't know how I'm not supposed to get hit. I just had another friend go down.
Really?
A broken ankle and a broken wrist.
Recently?
And it's the second time in like 3 years that he's gone down.
Dude.
Yeah. I am in a mighty struggle in my heart about all the people who are getting mown down.
Yeah.
As I'm riding and driving around and seeing the incredibly, you said dire consequences.
They are, man.
I was stunned this morning. I was going to the police station this morning.
Oh.
I found a laptop on the ground outside my house. I was walking the dog.
Hilarious.
I found an Apple laptop on the ground.
Just like a Mac computer. Boom.
It was a Air.
Like the super nice one?
The super nice thin MacBook Air.
Good for you, taking it to the cops.
And so I opened it because it had been run over. It had a slight bend to it and it had tire tracks across it. I opened it. It was perfectly functional. I didn't try typing.
Dude, yeah, sure.
I didn't try typing. Maybe the keyboard was wrong.
Did it have somebody's name on it?
Yeah, it had someone's name right there on the screen.
Okay, sure.
And I was like, oh, this is a doer. This was 2 days ago.
Okay.
I was like, wait a second. If I take this in my house and they do what I do with my Apple devices and they see where is it,
yeah, you're going to be having stolen it.
So I called the cops.
Good for you. And they said,
well, I mean, is it really? So I called the cops and they said, I said, hey, I got a laptop I found on a walk, blah, blah, blah. They said, oh, okay, well, can you bring it in? And I was like, well, I can't make it there tonight.
Yeah.
I think I can bring it in the morning. I wound up bringing it the next morning.
Okay.
But I said, I'm afraid that they're going to track where it is and they're going to think I stole it.
Yeah, sure.
And with a tire track helps.
It does.
Yeah, because
It
when I hand it
does.
back to them and say, look, I found it on the ground,
They're like,
nobody
really?
who stole it is going to run it over their car.
Or would they? It's actually
It's
a bold
the perfect
move.
alibi.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to jailbreak. I don't think you can even jailbreak.
Yeah,
I don't even know how any of that works.
I'm sure that you could.
I learned how to type on typewriters.
Oh, bro.
So
did you really?
I did.
Okay.
So, so today I bring it to the cops. I drive over to District 5.
Okay.
Which is, anyway, they took a report on the phone.
Okay.
And that saved me because
Good,
at least they had, I said, can you at least take down my name and my data?
Right.
So that,
Yeah.
And the dispatcher was like, that's a good idea.
That's awesome.
And I said, great, I'm glad. Thank you so much for your help.
Are you guys hiring?
So no, thank you. No, thank you at all. And I would be a sick cop.
I know.
I would be a terrible cop.
You honestly would be a pretty great cop.
I would be a terrible cop because I would always want to do what helps people.
I know.
So I love skateboarding. I hate skateboarding. I would love being a cop because of doing the things a good cop does.
Mm-hmm.
I love skateboarding because of doing the things a guy playing with a skateboard does.
Yeah.
I'd be a terrible cop because of the things that cops do.
Yeah.
And I can't stand skateboarding because of the things that people who call it skateboarding do.
Yeah.
And
the
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the practice of skateboarding rules, the practice of being a cop could rule, but the industry of skateboarding does not rule. The industry of being a cop is dire.
Probably pretty dark.
So I'm driving from my house to District 5. It's about a 7-minute drive.
Okay. And?
This car, no turn signal. This car,
no.
Lane change in the middle of an intersection, no signal. This car, no turn signal. This car, in the middle of the lane, stopped. No hazard lights.
Well, just stopped.
Just stopped. On and on it goes. Just driving there.
Okay.
And I get there and I'm having some sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like really feeling discouraged. And it's not about traffic.
Yeah, it's about people.
It's about lawlessness.
Yeah.
The reason that there are traffic rules and laws isn't so you don't get in trouble.
So people don't get killed.
It's so people don't get killed.
Straight up, dude.
And people have lost the plot.
Yeah.
The plot is that we all do it the same way so that people don't get killed.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
No.
They don't care if they kill other people.
And
They're in their thing. They're in their selfish zone.
Yeah.
I get to the cop place, you know?
Right.
And you gotta take everything out of your pockets and stuff in your car. You go, I sanitize myself of all independence, right? And so I walk through the door. I'm standing, and it's a really weird little lobby. You can't see anything because everything's shiny.
Yeah.
I walk in. I'm looking at the next door. I'm thinking I'm supposed to go through it, and I get yelled at.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I walk in, I get yelled at. That's what I hear.
What's up? Right.
No, the guy yells something at me.
Yeah.
Well, he's behind glass.
Yeah.
Bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
So I turn and I see that there's a guy behind the glass. He's a police officer.
Yeah.
He's not happy. That's why just first blush.
Yeah, sure.
He's not happy. I don't think he likes his job. That's my first vibe.
Yeah, I could understand that.
I said, yeah, I found this laptop. I called in about it. I just wanted to. He interrupts me. He says, well, what do you want us to do about it? And I said, well, I just want to drop it off because it's a found thing, and I need to bring it to you guys because it's worth over $1,000.
Right, yeah.
So I want to drop it off. He sucks his teeth at me and says, well, you're going to have to fill out the form, all your information and everything.
Is that a problem?
And exactly. I'm like, I didn't say it.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't go, is that a problem? I mean, I expected to have to fill something out, for the reward.
What is happening? Yeah.
I'm not expecting a reward. I just want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
If I had lost my laptop, I would love it if somebody brought it to a police station and I called the police and say, hey, I lost a laptop. It has my name on it. I thought this sort of thing worked.
Yeah.
Or I could do the Find My, and then I would find it at the police station. I'd go in and say, this is my ID. This is my laptop. I can describe it. It's got this and that sticker on it. I didn't understand where the attitude was. And I thought maybe this is a very deeply unhappy person, but don't put a deeply unhappy person on counter duty
Yeah.
where deeply unhappy people
Are coming
are
to.
coming for help.
Yeah, 100%.
So anyways, this was prickly the whole way through, and I just was
just
I
rode
was
that
like,
wave.
well, there's only one thing to do, is to shower that person with love and respect.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Just shower them with love and respect.
We got
Because if
30
I was having a
seconds.
hard day and I wasn't behaving well and someone showed me love and respect,
Yeah.
it might at least not make it worse. So there I am. Oh, we're almost done.
That's what I was going to tell you.
Do I have to sign off?
Yeah, we got 20 seconds.
All right, in these 20 seconds, I'm going to tell you that we're going to take this up in the next episode. I'll
Yeah.
retell a story.
Yeah.
Thank you, Life Skateboards. Life
Yeah.
Skateboards, the boards we ride. That's why we can do
10
this.
seconds.
And we're out of here. It's CapmLew.
Laters.